So what I'm doing is I got my little mixing station ready, and I got my concrete paint. Now I'm using what's called, it's an acrylic concrete waterproofing paint called Conflex, and I get it at Sherwin-Williams. Now there's other brands out there that are similar. I'll have some brands down in the description below so you can check them out and, you know, decide if there's one near you, you could use that one. But this stuff comes in multiple different colors, and I like the lighter colors myself better than the darker colors just because they reflect the sun, they don't get too hot. But I just start mixing it up right in the can, and then I pour it in my I'm using an 18-inch roller for this, for doing most of it. I got a 4-inch roller and a brush also we'll be using to cut in the edges, but most of it's done with an 18-inch roller. I like either using a 1/2-inch nap or 3/4-inch nap for my roller. And it's going to kind of depend on, you know, the porosity of the concrete, how rough the concrete is. Now this patio we're doing right here had a light broom finish on it. So it wasn't too rough, in my opinion. It wasn't too rough. It was a fairly smooth broom finish. So what I'm doing right now is we're going to cut in our edges. So I'll give, you know, T and I will have a brush, and we got that 4-inch roller. We'll get our edges all cut in. You can see how we patched around those 4x4 pressure treated columns there. We had to do some patching around those. That's pretty much it for patching on this. It was in pretty good shape. It was just a little moldy and mildewy looking, and it had some rust stains on it, and just was a little weathered. So the homeowner just wanted to give it a new face, a new color, and that's why we're here, just to give it a good paint. Now we put 2 coats of this stuff on. So the first coat goes on right around 100 square feet a gallon, and then the second coat goes on relatively easy. You can get about 200 square feet a gallon out of the second coat. So we'll be doing 2 coats on this today. And you can see once we get all the edges, it's kind of a grayish color too. There's a bunch of different grays they used, or you can get mixed. But this one, I believe it was called Intellectual Gray for one of the Sherwin-Williams colors. And I'm just using that 4-inch roller. This stuff bonds really, really good. You know, for a concrete waterproofing paint, it has a very high adhesion rate if the concrete's prepared properly. We've had good luck with it. I even put this on my basketball court, and it's held up really well. It's been on there 5 or 6 years. So the concrete paint bonds really good to a patio like this. You can see how it's turning it nice and gray. And you know, you can cut all your edges in advance. It doesn't matter if they dry a little bit and then you go over it with the wet like I'm doing right now. It's all going to dry the same color. That was a pretty cool thing about this too. So you could have someone go in and get all the edges cut in and then come right back and roll over it like I'm doing right now. You can see when I dip and roll in there, you know, I don't get a big area done every time. I'm trying to get really good coverage. So I get my roller all dipped and saturated with the paint, and then I might go, you know, like 4 feet by 4 feet, 5 feet by 4 feet, something like that, with one roll before I got to dip it again. So I'm not trying to thin it out or anything like that. I'm not trying to stretch it. I'm just trying to get good coverage on this first coat, and then the second coat is going to go on a lot easier. It's going to go a lot further. So this is the basic process. Tia's down there cutting in the edges on that step, which we're going to do as soon as we get this big flat piece done. This patio is about 40 by 12, 42 by 12, something like that. So once you need more paint, you just go out and mix up a little bit more, dump it in, and then just keep going. Luckily today, we were in the shade today. It was kind of cool. It was probably in the 60s in the shade, so you know, we weren't in any big hurry. If I was out in the sun and it was 80 or 90 degrees, you know, I might want to think twice about doing this out in the sun in that hot temperature. I might want to do it earlier in the morning when it's cooler, or maybe later in the evening when the sun's going down. just to make it a little bit easier. You know, you don't want the stuff drying too fast on you. You got quite a bit of working time. I mean, it's a single component acrylic resin waterproofing paint, so it's not like a two-part epoxy or something like that. So you got quite a bit of time to work with this stuff in the bucket. You know, hour. You got at least an hour. You know, if you're that slow, if you can't get a couple gallons done in an hour, you know, maybe you ought to hire it out. But this is definitely something you can do yourself with this type of paint. You just want to keep moving slow and steady, and then it dries really fast once you get it down. Like when I got done going this patio part, the top flat part, and then I'm gonna go down and help Tia on that step. You know, I don't know how I didn't really time myself, but it probably took me about 30 minutes to do the top part, another 10 minutes to do the step. It was ready for me to go right back on and start the second coat. I didn't have to wait at all. So you're going to be able to get your 2 coats on, you know, in a relatively short amount of time. So we're going to finish up there on that one end around the gate, around the fence. And then we're going to move down here and get that one step done. And then we're going to come back and just put a second coat on. Yeah, you can see how nice that stuff rolls right on. You know, when you're painting concrete, you definitely want to get a good product. I mean, you don't want to have to retouching it up every year. So this product is what we found it works best for us. This Conflex. It used to be called Surecrete, but now they changed the name for whatever reason. Now it's called Conflex, but it's similar to the Kills products. I think Kills has a product similar to this one that you can put on. I haven't used it, but I have researched it and looked it up. They do have a product very similar to this. It's a waterproofing type acrylic resin paint. So I'll have links for those down in the description there. You can check them out after the video. But you can see the 18-inch roller is really key. It allows you to cover quite a bit of area. And you don't really get roller lines with this stuff either. I mean, if you roll it on fairly even, it does dry a really nice consistent color. So I've never had any trouble with roller lines as long as I'm rolling everything out flat and not leaving like a thick line. Yeah, the face of this thing was probably the most difficult. We were trying to cut in that edge down there by the pool deck without getting any on the pool deck. So I grabbed the paintbrush and did the cutting, and Tia did the rolling so we could get that face done. And that's the first coat. So we got to come back and put a second coat on. We don't just do one coat. Now you can see how nice that looks after the first coat. Now the second coat here, like I said, it just kind of glides right on because everything's pretty much all sealed up now. The first coat I was really pushing down, making sure I was getting getting the paint in all the pores and in all the brush marks in there. It was a little bit non-slip type surface, so I had to work a little harder on the first coat. This second one though is just gliding right on nice and easy, and you can see how nice and gray that's making compared to how it was at first. Kind of weathered, moldy, mildewy, rusty, old looking concrete. It makes it look like brand new again. So you could do this, you can do this around a pool. They even have a texture, a non-slip aggregate they can put in this type of paint. And that's what I put on my basketball court, and it works really, really well. It definitely makes it less slippery when it's wet. So you could use that around a pool deck. We didn't use it here today. We just used the smooth stuff today because the concrete had enough texture on it already. We didn't think we needed to add any more to it. I think the smooth paint texture goes on just a little bit easier if I was rolling than the stuff with the non-slip in it, but they both go on pretty easy. You can see how much area I'm covering, and Tia's back down there doing the face of the steps, so we can get both these things done and get out of here today. We're going to get that. The second coat probably went on twice as fast as the first coat as far as the timing goes. It definitely, you know, 2 people make this go real fast. If you can get one person helping you cut in your edges, and then a second person just doing the most of the rolling and the mixing of the paint, then you're going to get quite a bit of area done in a relatively short amount of time. We were probably here a total from start to finish, you know, maybe 2 hours putting all this on a nice day. So it wasn't really a ton of time involved. It's just a matter of using the right product and knowing how to apply it, how thick to put it on, how much coverage you're going to get. And I mean, those are the basic keys when you paint concrete. So I'm going to finish up. I'm finishing up the second coat now. If you guys like this kind of stuff, you know, go ahead down there and smash that like button. I'd really appreciate that. You know, you guys hitting the like button helps me out with the YouTube algorithm. And what YouTube does is they help rank these videos a little higher so more people can see them and see how we do things and what kind of products we use in our everyday business. If you don't know me, if this is your first time watching me, my name's Mike Day. I own Day's Concrete Floors. We specialize in all types of concrete flat work. We pour a lot of concrete. We do stamped concrete. We do staining. We do floors and slabs. So I have videos, all kinds of videos about that stuff. And I come out with 2 videos a week. So if you haven't subscribed yet, you know, please go down there and hit subscribe. And you know, hit the little bell notification so you'll know when I come out with new videos every week. So we're just about getting finished up with that step, and I'm going to give you a quick before and after here of what the patio is going to look like. Now we use for the patching, you know, we used Rapid Set's blue bag for the patching around those columns. I'll have that down in the description. So that's a quick setting patch material. You can see how that concrete looked before, how shadowed and weathered looking it was, and this is what it looked like at the end. So brand new, looks great. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video.